about 3 or 4 years ago, I actually did start studying Korean at college. And I don't think I really did that well because I wasn't really used to knowing how to study a language. And also, I was relying on the college course to sort of hold my hand, hoping that maybe if I studied enough, everything would work out. But that's not how it went. And I actually even went to Korea for a whole month, and I thought maybe during that time, since I would have more opportunities to practice, meet more Korean people, have more conversations, like I would actually be able to be pretty decent at the language, and I was still pretty terrible at it. And now, fast forward to my time here in China, since I thought since I'm going to be living in this country for such a long time, like I'm probably going to be picking up Chinese in no time, really. Because, like I said, I have the opportunities, I can meet people, I can have a lot of conversations. But then I find out that there are so many foreigners here who have lived here in China for 5 or 10 years and they just cannot speak Chinese at all. And I guess I can say that maybe I've been sort of studying Chinese for almost 3 years. But during my first 2 years here in China, my Chinese was honestly pretty terrible. I was just sort of casually studying it during that time. And I think during that time as well, I knew what I was supposed to do to actually study the language, but I didn't really want to put in the hard work. Finally, once my third year in China started, that's when I finally really started to study. And like after I started studying this hard, during that time, 6 months later, my Chinese is finally at a pretty decent intermediate level. It's still not as good as I want it to be. I keep finding out with learning languages, the more that you learn, the more and more you find out that you don't know. But I think it's like that with everything. So, but what I actually did to start learning Chinese in a more serious manner was that I just needed to practice more. I needed to be in an environment where I could practice more, where I felt more comfortable practicing more. So that's when I found an online teacher. I found an online teacher we can practice for 3 times a week. And I finally just started trying to read more. And recently I tried listening more as well. And finally, during that time, my Chinese is at an okay level. So, with all that knowledge, actually sort of having more knowledge on how to study a language, I'm going to try this with Korean. Now, it says I'm going to try to learn Korean in 2 weeks. Being fluent in Korean in 2 weeks is going to be impossible. I'm not saying I'm going to be a master at Korean in 2 weeks. That's crazy. Like, maybe if I studied really, really hard, like Benny Lewis claims that you can be fluent in language in 3 months. I think that might be the case with European languages, but when it comes to Asian languages, when it comes to languages not related to English, that's not going to be an achievable goal. But maybe I can be sort of conversational within 2 weeks. Like maybe I can have okay conversations. Um, but this is why I'm making these videos. We're going to find that out. Like how much can you actually learn within 2 weeks? And the reason why I'm setting this as a 2 week goal is because I have a holiday coming up, a 4-day holiday, and I decided that I'm going to go to Korea. So I'm going to study Korean as much as I can, and I'm going to try as hard as I can to be so much better than I was such a long time ago when I first started studying Korean. So, with that said, let's find out together. All right, thanks a lot, guys.